Going into the 2022 season, Aroldis Chapman was looked at as the Yankees' closer, and how could he not be? He's making $18 million this season, which is of course a whole lot for a reliever, and he's pretty nasty, obviously, we all knew that. But that being said, Chapman hasn't been quite what he once was for the last few years, and as far as 2022 goes, it hasn't been very pretty. So combine all of that, and it's pretty clear the Yankees will have needed a new closer by now, and a good one, especially with the record that they have being the best team in baseball. Well, that actually hasn't been the slightest of issues for New York, not that they have many anyway, but the back end of the Yankees bullpen has been stellar this year in massive part due to their new closer, Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes has never been a guy who many knew about. He was drafted by the Pirates back in the 9th round of the 2011 draft, didn't make his big league debut until 7 years later in 2018, and he wasn't very good. He pitched to an ERA near 7 in 2018 and an ERA over 5.5 in 2019, going on to throw just barely over a single inning in 2020, missing the entire season due to a right forearm strain before being non-tendered by the team and re-signing with Pittsburgh on a minor league deal that offseason. He was bad yet again to start out 2021, pitching to an ERA right near 5 in 42 innings. At this point, it was looking like Holmes would never be successful. He wasn't getting any younger or better and was approaching his 30s. What's left? Well, that's where the New York Yankees come in, a front office that must have seen something in him, because before the 2021 trade deadline, the Yankees traded for Holmes and plucked him into their bullpen for the rest of the season, where he'd all of a sudden pitch to a 1.61 ERA in 28 innings, striking out 34 hitters. Pretty small sample size, so nobody thought too much of it, but 2022 has forced the entire baseball world to think a whole lot about Clay Holmes. Aroldis Chapman, of course, started the year as the Yankees closer, but after going on the injured list, Holmes has taken over in lights-out fashion. After giving up a run on 3 hits and 2/3 of an inning on opening day, Clay Holmes locked it down, going on to throw 29 consecutive scoreless outings. 29, and that set the new Yankees franchise record for consecutive scoreless appearances, which was previously held by Mariano Rivera since 1999. Pretty good. Holmes has only since continued his dominance on the mound with an ERA under 1, striking out 40 hitters while walking only 7 and recording 16 saves for the Yankees. He came out of absolutely nowhere to become the most dominant reliever in baseball by a landslide. He couldn't have been any more nasty, and as far as what that meant for the team, well, if you were an opposing ball club playing the Yankees, you better have a lead in the late innings, because if not, and you are trailing in the 8th or 9th, the game is over, and there is no hope for you. Clay Holmes and the Yankees bullpen as a whole has been so automatic in 2022 that the team was 48-0 when leading after 7 innings and 49-0 when leading after 8 innings. They finally had their first loss when leading after 7 in a recent series in Boston, when Alex Verdugo drove in the tying run in the bottom of the 8th and 2 runs with 2 outs on a base hit in the bottom of the 10th to walk it off. As far as their undefeated record when leading after 8, however, that was still intact. When leading a game going into the 9th inning, any team typically wins that game. Comebacks are hard to do, especially when you're down to your last 3 outs, and most especially when you have to face Clay Holmes out of the back end of the Yankees bullpen. The Cincinnati Reds are awful. They are currently one of the worst teams with the lowest number of wins in not just the National League, but in all of baseball, and you can't say you didn't see this coming. Before the season, the Reds let Nick Castellanos leave to go to the Phillies, traded Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suarez to Seattle, dealt Sonny Gray to the Twins, and traded away Amir Garrett. A Reds team that actually had some decent potential was all but depleted in an effort to cut payroll, so it should come as no shock to anybody that the 2022 Cincinnati Reds are horrible. With that being said, they were winners of 4 straight going into the Bronx to face the Yankees, but a team like the Yankees is a horrible matchup for a last place team like the Reds, and it definitely showed in the first 8 innings on Tuesday night. The Yankees immediately took a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning on an Anthony Rizzo 2-run single, and although the Reds did only limit the Yankees offense to 1 run over the next 7 innings, the offense didn't do jack, and left the Reds down to their final 3 outs down by as many runs. The game was over. Now, nothing is truly impossible, I guess, but as far as this situation went, the Reds had no chance. Cincinnati went into the game with 33 wins. 33 wins, that's it, while the Yankees had 61. Going into the game before the first inning even began, according to ESPN, the Reds had about a 20% chance to win the game. 8 innings later, the Reds had a minuscule 3.1% chance to win the game. Remember, the Yankees went into Tuesday night with a 49-0 record when leading entering the 9th inning. The Reds were down by 3 whole runs, which is a lot to ask for when you're down to just 3 outs, and Clay Holmes had given up just 3 earned runs all season long. Cue the impossible. Clay Holmes had an absolute meltdown against one of the worst offenses in all of baseball. He'd walk Tommy Pham to lead off the inning, give up a base hit to Joey Votto, then proceeded to hit Tyler Stevenson to load up the bases before giving up a base hit to Tyler Naquin to get a run home. Next man up, Kyle Farmer, would then get smoked with a 96-mile-an-hour sinker to get another run home, forcing Aaron Boone to come out and take his elite closer out of the ballgame and put in Wandy Peralta, who would get both Donovan Solano and Nick Senzel to ground into force outs at the plate, preventing the tying run from coming home and getting ahead on the next hitter up, Jonathan India, putting him into an 0-2 hole. The crowd was on their feet. The Yankees needed just one more strike to end this scary situation, yet it would only get scarier, as India would simply put the bat on the ball way outside the zone and place it into right center field, bringing home 2 and giving the Reds the lead, one in which they'd hold on to win the ballgame. Unbelievable. Clay Holmes isn't a robot, and I think Tuesday night had to happen in order for us to realize that, because he had been otherworldly going into Tuesday night. He's human, but that definitely doesn't take away how unlikely what transpired last night ended up happening, and especially for the way it did. Holmes wasn't just not quite as sharp as usual. He was real bad. He walked 1, hit 2, gave up 2 hits, and gave up 4 runs, which was more than he had given up all season long. Wow. This video isn't saying that the Clay Holmes downfall has begun, because I genuinely believe he's elite, at least for the time being, and that he'll still be so by season's end. And this is exactly why what occurred on Tuesday night was insane. It would have been crazy for it to happen to a good team, let alone a team like the Cincinnati Reds, who have a bottom 6 offense in the entire league. But that's baseball. Crazy and unpredictable things happen all the time. It's the beauty of this game. But I just felt like this one in particular was definitely video worthy.